Good day, everyone. I am given Idalas Reyes, and I will be discussing the historical antecedents of science and technology period. So, in this discussion, we will tackle about the ancient period, Middle Ages, and modern ages, and also we will be discussing about the Filipino inventors and their inventions. So, let's start this discussion by defining antecedent. It is a precursor to the unfolding or existence of something. In other definition, it is a thing or event that existed before or logically precedes another. So that is the meaning of antecedent. Thus, historical antecedents in science and technology are factors that pave the way for the presence of advanced and sophisticated scientific and technological innovations today. So it is very important that we know the historical antecedents of science technology so that we will know how those inventions today that we are using, kung paano ba siya nagsimula, sino ba yung nag-invent sa kanya, and paano ba yung ginagamit no during that time. So yun, and ano yung mga development na nangyari. And also, it is very important na magkaroon tayo ng knowledge so that mas napapahalagahan natin yung mga inventions na yon. And aside from that, by understanding how previous generations influenced and were influenced by developments in science and technology, our generation today can come up with a wise decision on how to use it in our everyday lives. Okay? So let's talk about the ancient period. It is the first ages. Okay? So ancient period, it is the rise of ancient civilizations paved the way for advances in science and technology. These advances during the ancient period allowed civilizations to flourish by finding better ways of communication, transportation, self-organization, and of living in general. So it's all started during the ancient period. Doon na sila nagkaroon ng discoveries. And one of their discoveries or inventions is that ancient wheel. So ancient wheel grew out of a mechanical device called the potter's wheel, a heavy flat disc made of hardened clay which was spun horizontally on an axis. Okay. In ancient wheel, during the ancient period, people from ancient civilizations, gumagamit sila ng animals for transportations bago nila na-discover itong wheel na to. So actually, it's not clear kung sino ba yung unang naka-discover or naka-invento ng wheel na to at hindi rin nila alam kung kailan ito. However, it is believed that the Sumerians invented the potter's wheel shortly after 3,500 BC. Yun. So, yun nga, pinaniwalaan nila na yung Sumerian yung naka-invento ng potter's wheel since sila nung naman yung gumagamit nung wheel na yun during that time. So, kaya sa mga Sumerian na credit yung wheel inventions, and it is made out of clay, yung first wheel na yun. So, ayan, kaya tinawag siya na potter's wheel. And then, it was 1,000 to 1,500 later that the wheel was first used on carts. Ayan. And next this invention is the paper. So roughly around 3000 BC, the ancient Egyptians began writing on papyrus, a material similar to take paper. Papyrus is made from pith of the papyrus plant na tinatawag na Cyperus papyrus. So ayun, nagkaroon na tayo ng invention na paper through Egyptians naman ito. Kasi before, yung way ng pagsusulat nila is sinusulat nila yung mga important occasions lang on stone. Kasi, di ba, mahirap magsulat sa stone. So, yun. Kaya mga important events lang yung sinusulat nila doon. And one of the example of this is yung kay Moses, di ba? During that time, sinulat niya yung 10 Commandments sa magkabiyak na bato. So, yun, one of the examples of, and one of part of the history on ancient Egyptians is yun nga, is through stones. And This paper, maganda na rin na naka-invento sila netong paper. Kasi compare naman talaga sa stone, syempre mas light yung paper. And then another is, it is strong and lalo na ito ay very portable. So dahil dito, na-invento nila yung paper, mas mabilis na nadi-disseminate yung information sa ibang mga tao. And with the advent of the papyrus, documentation and record keeping became efficient, widespread, and vast. Okay, the next invention during ancient period is the shadow. It was an early tool invented and used by ancient Egyptians to irrigate land. So, ayan. After paper, na-discover naman nila yung, na-invent naman nila yung shadow. So, it is very special, lalo na sa mga Egyptians na nakatira sa Nile River kasi irrigation was very necessary to water their crops. So, dahil dito sa shadow na to, mas napadali yung pag-irrigate nila ng lupain. And then, etong shadow na to, also spelled as shadow, is a hand-operated device used for lifting water. Yon. So, meron itong idea na meron nagka-counterweight dito sa shadow na to. Na nagka-counterweight, yun yung ginagamit niya para mag-lift yung things na kailangan. And because of this invention, irrigation and farming became much more efficient. The shadow is also believed to be an ancient precursor of more sophisticated irrigation tools. So, the next invention is the Antikythera mechanism. The Greeks had already invented the ancient world's analog computer orrery. So, when we say orrery, ano nga ba yung orrery? It is the mechanical model of solar system that time. Yung mechanical model of solar system that time, relatively siya sa position ng mga planets and yung motion ng mga planets and ng moon according to the heliocentric. It means that nakabase siya dun sa pagiging sun-centered yung model na yan, yung orrery. And it was discovered in 1902 and retrieved from the waters of Antikythera, Greece. The Antikythera mechanism is similar to a mantle clock. And upon its discovery na po pala, ina-assume ng mga researcher, yung mga nakakita nito na yung Antikythera mechanism is parang naka-house sa wooden, ganon. Kasi may nakita sila mga bit of wooden doon sa fragments nung bagay na ito, yung Antikythera mechanisms. And how it works, according to the researchers na meron daw itong parang knob na iniikot and then yung mechanism nito is umiikot ng backward and forward. And yon. And it also widely believed that the Antikythera mechanism was used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses for calendar and astrological purposes. It is also believed that the Antikythera mechanism was invented by Greek scientists between 150 to 100 BC. Okay. So another invention is the aeolipile, also known as the hero's engine. The aeolipile is widely believed to be the ancient precursor of the steam engine. Hero of Alexandria is credited for the demonstration of the use of the aeolipile during the 1st century AD. So si Hero of Alexandria yung nag-invent nito. So how it works, ginagawa nito, ito yung tinatawag din na steam engine turbine. So, ginagawa nito is pinapainitan yung water na nasa gitna nung parang, ano ba tawag dyan? Basta ilalagyan ng water, pinapainit siya, and then kapag nag-steam yon, yung heat nun is napapagalaw yung ball na sa taas. And actually, si Hero, sinabi niya rin dito na parang yung invention niya na to is hindi niya alam or hindi naman talaga siya as in nakakatulong sa sa practical uses sa buhay ng mga tao. For him, it is just a toy. And another one is Vitruvius, a Roman author, architect, and civil engineer, described the heliophile as a scientific invention through which the mighty and wonderful laws of the understood and judged. So, ayun. And now, let's go to the Middle Ages. So, we will find out the inventions during Middle Ages. So, major advances in scientific and technological development took place between the collapse of the Roman Empire in 5th century AD and the colonial expansion of Western Europe in late 15th century AD. And Middle Ages, it is well known, mas kilala siya sa tawag na medieval period or dark ages. And during Middle Ages, dito na rin nangyari yung mga major advances in scientific and technological development. Okay? So, one of the inventions during Middle Ages is the heavy plow. So, Professor Thomas Bernebek Anderson of the University of Southern Denmark succinctly describes the impact of the inventions of the heavy plow. The heavy plow turned European agriculture and economy on its head. Suddenly, the fields with the heavy, fatty, and moist clay soils became those that gave the greatest yields. Kasi during that time, it is very difficult for them to use yung clay soil kasi mabigat kasi yon until na-invent nila itong heavy plow na to. And because of this, parang mas naging convenient or mas naging madali na sa kanila mag-harness ng clay soil. And because of invention of heavy plow in Europe and in northern territories, talaga namang nakita yung pag-usbong ng agriculture nila that leads to economic prosperity. And really, it marked by higher and healthier agricultural yields and more efficient agricultural practices. Okay? So, the next is gunpowder. So, Professor Thomas Bernebek Anderson of around 850 AD, Chinese alchemist, accidentally invented black powder or gunpowder. So, yon. During that time, hindi talaga intentionally na madidiscover nila yung gunpowder because the Chinese alchemist, namely Thomas Bernebek Anderson, he was looking for the elixir of life. That's why Chinese called it Hu Hao, roughly translated as fire potion. And then, yun na nga, hanggang sa na-discover niya na yung gunpowder, and this gunpowder is talaga namang nagamit siya during warfare that time. And towards the end of the 13th century, the explosive invention crept into most parts of Europe and Asia. So, yun. Prior to that, nagkaroon na rin ng mga swords, ng mga guns, na talagang ginamit nila during warfare. Kasama na din doon yung gunpowder. Next is paper money. It is the first known versions of paper money could be traced back to the Chinese in 17th century AD as an offshoot of the invention of block printing, which is similar to stamping. So this is the first ever paper money. This is the credited dito sa paper money na to is yung mga Chinese. Sila yung talaga naka-invento ng paper money. So, before the introduction of paper money, precious metals such as gold and silver were used as currency. So, hindi rin naman agad nag-boom itong paper money na to kasi sa ibang lugar, hindi pa talaga siya ganun kagamit. Na-realize lang ito ng mga traders, ng mga merchants na mas okay pala tong paper money kasi mas convenient ito compared dun sa gold and silver as pambayad. So another one is the mechanical clock. The development of mechanical clocks paved the way for accurately keeping track of time. So, di ba, sa ancient period, di ba, nagkaroon ng anti-katira mechanisms. But this one, it is very accurate kasi yung yung anti-katira mechanism, so parang hindi pa ganoon ka-advance yung technology niya tungkol doon. So, but this time, in Middle Ages, yun, na-discover na yung mechanical clock. So, the sophistication of clockwork technology of the mechanical clock drastically changed the way days were spent and work patterns were established, particularly in the more advanced Middle Age cities. So, in this example, this is the medieval mechanical clock found in Prague, Czech Republic. So, talaga masasabi natin na during this age, is ito talaga yung nagkaroon na tayo ng clockwork technology. Dito na na-develop. Okay? And another one is spinning wheel. This is a machine used for transforming fiber into a thread or yarn and eventually woven into cloth on a loom. And it is theorized that the Indians invented the spinning wheel between 6th and 11th century AD. So, ito yung spinning wheel, it is one of the important talaga na invent noong Middle Age. Kasi during that time na wala pang spinning wheel, it is very time consuming and napaka-tedious yung process talaga ng pananahe. Kasi ang ginagamit lang is hand spinning. Ganyan. And according to White, 1974, the invention of the spinning wheel sped up the rate at which fiber could be spun by a factor of 10 to 100 times. Okay. So, nandun pa nga yung point din na si White is nakipag-argue pa siya na dahil sa pagiging parang nag-boom kasi itong spinning wheel na to sa Europe Talagang ito yung simula ng pag-breakthrough ng linen production sa Europe in 13th century AD. So now, let's move on to the modern ages. As the world population steadily increased, people of the modern ages realizes the utmost importance of increasing the efficiency of transportation, communication, and production. Industrialization took place with greater risk in human health, food safety, and environment, which had to be addressed as scientific and technological progress unfolded at unimaginable speed. So, in modern ages, syempre, mas na yung mga, dito, yung mga inventions. So, kumbaga, parang naging, yung Middle Ages and yung ancient period, compared doon, syempre, mas ahead yung technology na ngayon sa modern ages. One of the invention during the modern ages is itong compound microscope. A Dutch spectacle maker named Zacharias Janssen is credited for the invention of the first compound microscope in 1590. So, ayan, naka-invent nito is si Zacharias Janssen. And together with his dad, Han Janssen, so yung ginawa nila is pinag-combine nila yung mga lenses and then pinagpatong-patong nila yon and then na-discover nila na kapag yung object ay mas malapit dun sa dulo ng tube, mas nakita nila na talagang mas malaki ito. Kumbaga parang it was capable of magnifying objects 3 times their size when fully closed and up to 10 times when extended to the maximum. So, yun, doon na nila na-discover yung compound microscope. And until today, talaga namang napakalaki ng pakinabang na itong compound microscope pagdating sa mga scientific studies like in medical. So, yun, talagang gamit na gamit itong compound microscope na to So, yon. Salamat sa Carias Johnson sa pag-imbento neto. Okay? So, let's move on. So, another invention is the telescope. So, it was Galileo who first used the telescope skyward and made important astronomical discoveries and identified the presence of craters and mountains on the moon. So, this invention could magnify objects 20 times larger than the Dutch perspective glasses. So, yun na. It is the start of the study of astronomy using telescope, and for the first time, it became clear that the universe is far larger than previously imagined, the Earth far smaller compared to the entire universe. Okay, so another invention is the Jacquard loom. It's built by French weaver Joseph Marie Jacquard. The Jacquard loom simplifies textile manufacturing. So prior to the invention of the Jacquard loom, a draw loom was used, which required two individuals to operate, the weaver and the drawboy, if figure designs on textiles were needed. So imagine na wala pang Jacquard loom. It is very difficult to make textiles, di ba? So, eto nga may Jacquard loom, kailangan pa natin talagang, kailangan pang mag-exert ng greater effort, tsaka ng intensified manual labor ng mga worker dito para makapag-produce lang ng complex designs ng textile. So, yun. And in 1801, Jacquard demonstrated the ingenuity of his version of a loom in which a series of cards with punch holes automatically created complex textile designs and made mass production easier. So, ayan, nagkaroon na siya ng development, nagkaroon na siya ng progress yung Jacquard loom. And through this invention, since na-invent na to, nagkaroon ng full speed sa industrialization na revolution. And aside from textile designs, the Jacquard loom is also an important antecedent of modern computer technology kasi na-demonstrate neto yung mga punch cards to instruct a machine to carry out a complete task. Okay. So next invention is engine-powered airplane. Arthur Wright and Wilbur Wright are credited for designing and successfully operating the first engine-powered aircraft. So they demonstrated this in their original flying machine patent number 821390, showing that slightly tilted wings, which they referred to as aeroplanes, were the key features of a powered aircraft. So this is the flying machine of Arthur and Wilbur Wright. This picture on the right side. And because of the pioneering success, nagmark ito ng, kumbaga ito yung naging simula ng era or age ng mga power flight. Okay. So next one is television. The Scottish engineer John Logie Baird invented the modern television. Baird successfully televised objects in outline in 1924, recognizable human faces in 1925, and moving objects in 1926, and projected colored images in 1928. So in fact, the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, used this for its earliest television programming in 1929. However, nagkaroon pa din ng issue dito kasi na-compare yung television na gawa ni Baird compared dun sa mga electronic devices. So, the possible reason is because it is mechanical. At least, diba, siya pa rin yung nag-invento talaga ng television. So, kung wala siya, kung wala yung television niya, hindi pa magkakaroon ng mga electronic devices, diba? Ay, mga electronic na TV. So, yung parang na-improve lang nila yung television na ginawa ni Baird. So, credit pa rin talaga sa kanya, yung invention ng television. Okay, so, let's move on to the next topic. It is the inventions by Filipino scientists. So, yun. Dito naman tayo sa ating mga kababayan. Yan, inventions by Filipino scientists. So, the Philippines boasts of its own history and tradition of scientific and technological innovations. Throughout Philippine history, the Filipinos are responsible for developing many scientific and technological innovations focused on navigation, traditional shipbuilding, textiles, food processing, indigenous arts and techniques, and even cultural inventions. Okay, magagaling din kaya yung mga Pinoy, syempre. So, ayan, electronic jeepney, EGP. As demand for more responsive transportation technology arose, the e-jeepney was introduced in Metro Manila and Bacolod City. E-jeepneys are designed to be environment-friendly, eliminating noise and air pollution as they run on electricity. So, dito kasi sa Pilipinas, di ba, parang, parang pambansa sa sasakyan na natin yung jeep eh. So, yun. Kasi yung jeep na yun, nakuha pa natin yung design and improvised from scratch out of military jeeps that the Americans left in the country after World War II. So, compare yung e-jeepney sa traditional na jeepney, syempre, mas less yung yung smoke na nilalabas, and syempre, mas so, yun nga, napaka-environment friendly niya. Tsaka hindi rin siya maingay dito tulad ng mga ibang jeep talaga. So, yun lang. So, another one is erythromycin. So, the Ilonggo scientist Abelardo Aguilar invented this antibiotic out of a strain of a bacterium called Streptomyces erythraeus, from which this drug derived its name. So, yun pala, doon na-derive yung erythromycin. So, I think it is an antibiotic. So, as with this case of several other local scientists, however, Aguilar was not credited for the discovery by Eli Lilico. So, yan. Yung Eli Lilico Corporation, yun yung US employer ni Abelardo Aguilar. And because of this, na hindi nga na-credit yung niya, nagkaroon siya ng screen for separation. And then, dahil hindi nga credit yung yung discovery niya, yung invention niya, ang ginawa ng Eli Lilico is parang inano nila yon, parang inangkin nila na invention daw nila yung erythromycin, na discovery nila yon. So yun. And then next one is medical incubator. So world-renowned Filipino pediatrician and national scientist Fidel Mundo is credited for the invention of the incubator and jaundice relieving device. Her original improvised incubator consisted of two native laundry baskets of different sizes that are placed one inside the other. Warmth is generated by bottles with hot water placed around the baskets. A makeshift hood over the baskets allows oxygen to circulate inside the incubator. Siya pala yung nakadiscover ng medical incubator. And then, yung medical incubator niya before is just made from bamboo. So, yan. Gawa lang siya sa bamboo. Okay. So, yun. Napaka-ingenious talaga ng invention na ni Dr. Fidel Mundo. So, another invention is this mole remover. In 2000s, Rolando de la Cruz is credited for the invention of a local mole remover that made use of extracts of cashew, which are very common in the Philippines. So, de la Cruz won a gold medal for this invention in the International Innovation, Industrial Design, and Technology Exhibition in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in 2000. So, itong mole remover ni Rolando de la Cruz, it is made out of cashew na talaga namang common dito sa Pilipinas, and it gained popularity because of its accessibility, affordability, and painless, and most of all is the scarless procedure. So, yun. Next invention is the banana ketchup. So, Filipino food technologist Maria Orosa is credited for the invention of banana ketchup, a variety of ketchup different from the commonly known tomato ketchup. Historical accounts was it that Orosa invented the banana ketchup at the backdrop of World War II when there was a huge shortage of tomatoes. Okay? So, yun nga, na-develop ni Orosa, na-invent niya tong banana ketchup na to, and then nakapag-develop siya ng iba't ibang variety ng ketchup na gawa sa mashed banana, sugar, vinegar, and spices, which were all readily available. And actually, this banana ketchup, it is brownish yellow in natural color, but is dyed red to resemble the color of the most loved tomato ketchup. Okay, that's all, and thank you.